Hey everybody, it's Chance here again with another episode of Signalis. What happened last time? So I beat the game. I beat the game. So this is more so like a sort of kind of going over everything as well as getting all the rest of the endings. So that is the plan. I'm not going to video my other attempts. I'll probably just do like the major parts, and I might just do like a speeded up version of at least of ending 2, which requires you to beat the game under 6 hours. And then there's the other one where you make sure you talk to all the NPCs and stuff like that. Um, and then there's a secret ending, so I'll also be showing that as well. Um, to kind of start before we get into it, I do just want to go over what happened last episode. So last episode, we kind of figured out what is going on. So step by step. So we start with a girl named Ariane Young, who grew up with her mother on a lone outpost in Lang. Um, her aunt reaches out to her mother and says that she should probably get a more proper education, among others. And so Ariane gets sent over to Rotfront, where she becomes friends with Issa and Erica. Um, she does her schooling there. She is actively bullied. Um, there's a teacher's report that states that she is unusual, partially because she hasn't been raised in the general community mindedness, and she does a lot of like personal hobbies like painting and the like, which is considered odd. On top of this, there's also the exposure to banned books, which the Itos, should probably look up how to pronounce that last name. Honestly, I can't get it right, and that's on me. Um, but the two sisters, Issa and Erica, they grew up there as they grew. They didn't grow up there. They grew up on Veneta, but they now live here, and their family owns a bookstore. They get sent to their official military. They're not official, but they're required military service, and they don't meet, but there is a connection to another woman, Alina So. The thing here is that Alina So apparently looks eerily close to Ariane Young. The coincidence is very similar. Um, and Ariane, after she finishes this service, applies for the Penrose program, which, if she doesn't get in or get any other specific military service, she will then be sent to the 23 Sierpinski mines. This is where we can assume Alina went, along with Erica, while Ariane was chosen for the Penrose project. On the Penrose project, she is alongside an Elster unit, which is a survey unit meant for these kind of things. The point of the Penrose project is to go out and essentially explore new worlds, etc. It also partially seems to be a kind of propaganda tool where it's like, we can do this. So these people are sent out there to just prove that they can do that, that the state can do it, that they are all powerful and they can make it through this. They are essentially out there for a long time. At first, Ariane is really glad to be away from so many people, but then she starts getting lonely because they were on this ship for a long time, and she ends up forming a relationship with the Elster unit. While she's given a lot of documentation, she doesn't really read all of it and states as much that it's just so much stuff, and she starts focusing on her own things. One of the things that we have been learning, like how to stabilize personas, how best to deal with the different replica units. And in the Elster's case, they are meant to be treated as a tool. Apparently, if you do treat them with any warmth, friend be friends with them, show them movies, music, anything like that, they get a resurfacing of their gestalt memories, which can be very bad for persona stabilization, and really what it's bad for is them doing their job. But they end up forming this relationship, and the thing about this Penrose program is that they don't if your specific program doesn't find anything, they're just like, well, you're not gonna find anything probably. You don't have enough resources to go further, and the ship will start to fall apart. So I imagine that is what happened, because we know for sure they made it to at least the 3000th cycle, which is like sort of days situation, and I guess it crashed. The ship crashed, or maybe it's symbolic for that. The thing is that either way, Ariane is going to die, and the Elster unit is going to die as well. And we also learn that Ariane apparently has very high bioresonance, which can kind of affect the reality of the world. It's part of the reason that we get one book that kind of goes into the details of this. The bioresonance is kind of what made the replicas, got the neural networks and got them to connect on that way. And some people just have natural bioresonance. Ariane, probably in distress. Something with her bioresonance went off, and Lang was where she grew up, and she was gonna go to the Sierpinski mining site. She was going to go there if she wasn't on the Penrose, and Elena So was there, someone who looks very much like her. And it is likely that this facility, the things that were happening there, were happening coinciding with the Penrose program. This, whatever Ariane ends up doing, whether intentionally or unintentionally, ends up kind of changing the reality that exists in this mine, which is what happened. The sickness going around, infecting everybody, is the fabric of reality just falling apart. At first, Commander Falk went in, and she essentially became Elster. Elster is here because something was calling to her. All of the Elster units were called to this, and that's why it's just been happening again and again. The fabric of reality is so thin that that's why all this sort of strange stuff is happening and is messing with the bioresonance of everything. In a sense, essentially, the promise that Elster made Ariane was that she was going to kill her. Because really the main options here are to die in the cryogenic pod or kill her. And it is also partially a story of grief, not being able to process that. Elster regrets what she should have done. And the ending of which I got, which was the promise ending, had Elster essentially fulfill her promise and kill Ariane by choking her or breaking her neck and then dying alongside her. Much to the... And this essentially, from what it sounded like, was going to essentially destroy this reality or something akin to that. Or just keep it happening again and again and again and again and again. One or the other. It is a loop. And it is unclear how many times it has occurred, because the sequence where Elster tears the arms off of the Elster unit inside the Penrose, that's where she dies, next to Ariane. So, is it a situation where this promise is being, this loop is happening forever and ever and ever, and because this loop is happening forever and ever and ever, there's no end to it. And while the true Ariane and the Elster unit on that Penrose program did die, again, the bioresonance and the fact that Alina's cell looks so much like Ariane and then becomes her, making this just constantly loop, this feedback loop essentially, never ending. Adler realizes this because he's one of the few. I think he is one of the few of the replicas to change last, and two, he understands it that he is one of the few that recognizes that this is happening over and over again. So next, I am going for the ending memory, as it's called, where I beat the game basically as fast as possible. I'm hoping that's kind of the major thing. It's also don't really get into a lot of fights and don't get hit, but unfortunately I get hit a lot because I'm bad at video games, so as it goes. But yeah, that's kind of the sum up. It was interesting while editing the prior videos and being like, maybe this is what happened. Maybe this is what happened. And then kind of having like the answer. It's very interesting. The thing about me is I'm a sucker for stories about grief. That's kind of my main thrust when creating too. It just kind of hits, like, what do you do? What do you do if you keep repeating the same effect, the same thing over and over again, in hopes to change it? If you think about it enough, maybe you can change it. But it just keeps happening again and again. And yeah, I really, really, really liked this game. I really enjoyed it. Again, I am going to be getting the other endings, including the secret ending. I am just gonna follow a walkthrough for it. I'm not the person to kind of like investigate in that way. And you know what? I don't need to be. That's why walkthroughs exist. You know what? My plan is to essentially, currently there's been nothing different. Nothing dialogue-wise or anything like that. I believe it is only the ending that's really different. So I will essentially, after we talk about this, I will show that ending when I get to it. Then after that, there is an ending called Leave, which requires you to stay essentially at top health, avoid fighting, spend your sweet time, the flashback sequences, talk to all the NPCs until you exhaust their dialogue. So I will be cutting to those conversations. Even the ones that I've had in this Let's Play before, just because I know there's some that I missed, and it would be good to kind of get that full, just kind of all of that in one place, and then get that ending, and then the secret ending. So I would like to show the parts of the game that are different or that I'm doing different, ideally. So that is the plan there as well, and then it'll be it for Signalis. Ideally, I want to put this all in one video, as it doesn't really make sense to kind of split it into multiple, since I'm going to be playing around with the audio and video for this video to begin with. So, but yeah, So yeah, I will be seeing you guys you will be seeing me within minutes, but I will be seeing you guys later. Um, Definitely, if you liked this game, um, definitely support Rose Engine and buy the game yourself. You can get it on Steam or the Um, Humble Bundle. That's what I meant to say. Um, in the description, there's the link to the Rose Engine's website where they have all that linked, as well as to the soundtrack of this game, which is genuinely incredible. I definitely recommend getting it as well. Show the creators that you like this game, like even if you don't end up playing it, if you do have that extra change, you know. Um, because I really, really liked this game a lot, and I mean, you're of your own prerogative, you're able to make those decisions, but the way this game does atmosphere, the design of the game is very good. I feel like there is very little like wasted movement. Like there are rooms with like ammo and stuff like that, especially now that I'm kind of speeding through the game, right? It's pretty clear where you're supposed to go, especially um, with the map. When you are rushing through it, it's kind of easier to get lost because I'll walk into a room, but I'll be like, "Did I go in here completely? I don't know, whatever." Um, but that's kind of the point there. It'll be nice to kind of go through it slowly again, kind of knowing everything, and then trying to figure out like best way to get through here and there. Because the game is very, very effective. It is very and it's interesting to play it without it's interesting to play it without really interacting with the world. Because I'm trying to get through it fast. I'm like running through. I'm like run, run, run. When I play through the one where I'm gonna be kind of not attacking anybody and kind of sliding around, well, we'll see how that goes, and then also we'll go for the secret ending. So, yeah. Well, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Now, we are one. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Once again, you've returned. Are you really willing to go through with this once more? You've seen what happens. This world cannot take much more. This may be our last chance. If you go back, it'll all fall apart. I can't let that happen. You selfish monster. You'll destroy everything. It's time. This is all that's left. Go home? Yes. Remember our promise. I've come back for you. It's me, Elster. Elster. I'm sorry, but I don't remember. It's okay. Perhaps this is hell. Please, just let me stay by your side a little longer. An Elster unit. You should leave this place. This facility is lost. Turn back before it's too late. I'm looking for this woman. Have you seen her? I don't know her, but she may be one of the workers. All Gestalt workers were sent to the mine below the facility. If she's still alive, she's probably down there. There's an access elevator to the mine shaft one level below, but you'll need an administrator's key to use it. I'll be out of here as soon as this repair patch stops my bleeding. You should get out of here too. I don't know who that woman is, but she's probably dead by now. If you still want to go, good luck. There's an access elevator to the mine shaft one level below, but you'll need an administrator's key to use it. If she's still alive, she's probably down there. You're not a protector, so I can't tell you any more than I already have. They decommission us both. I'll be out of here as soon as this repair patch stops my bleeding. Okay, so that's everything. You don't look like you belong here. You're an Elster unit, right? This facility is currently on lockdown. You shouldn't be here. I'm the Protector Controller on duty on this level. I don't know what kind of business you have here, but as you can probably see, we've got bigger issues right now. If you're looking for the commander, I have bad news for you. She got sick, and everyone else is getting sick too. That's really all I know about it. I'm sure the administrator knows more, but who knows where he is. I'm not going out there. I'm waiting here for new orders. Until then, I'm not taking any risks. I'm not going out there. Okay, so. Ah, it's you again. I'm glad you're still okay. Have you found who you're looking for? I'm looking for someone too. My sister. If you see her, would you tell her I'm looking for her? Don't worry, you'll recognize her when you see her. Have you ever wondered if you're speaking to someone for the last time without knowing? I wish I could go back so I could say something else. This place is very strange, isn't it? I wonder what happened here. But it doesn't really matter. You don't need to worry about me. I can take care of myself now. I can't keep relying on others. That's why she left me, after all. I'm sure of that now. Well, everyone turned weird. I'm the only one that's left, I think. Will I get sick like the others, too? I'm scared. I don't want to die. You look kind of familiar. Have we met before? At first, it was only Commander Falk who fell ill. Slowly, everyone started behaving strangely. I'm too scared to go outside. I don't want to become like the others. I don't want to die. Who are you? You're not one of our staff. The others, they've changed. We no longer sing in unison. I used to be able to see into their minds. We were as one. Together, we guided them all. But now, I can't understand their thoughts anymore. I've never been so alone before. They're still together and I am here, outside, and they won't let me in. I cannot stand their song anymore. This is the only place where I don't have to hear them. This is the only place I'm safe. I can't go on like this. I wish I had become like the others too. At least then, I wouldn't be alone. I hate this. Ah, hello. You're not a protector, are you? What brings you here? I'm Bale. If you're down here, you're probably looking for something. I'd help you, but one of my hydraulics failed and I can't move. I'm pretty much done for, so you can just leave me here. There's no point repairing an old unit like me, so don't worry about it, okay? It'd be a waste of resources. I'd offer you my mining laser, but I don't think your frame could supply the power output. You're probably better off using a gun. There should be some useful equipment in the mining office. It's just south of here. Don't worry about me. There are many replacements. We're just replicas, after all, right? In the end, it's one drop to an ocean. When I die, they'll just make another. Thank you for talking to me. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Hey, don't cry. It'll be over soon. Remember that time we went to the surface? The stars were so beautiful. I wish we could go there again. Hey, listen. I'll let you in on a secret. I can remember my name from my old life. Isn't that funny? Don't you want to know it? Here, I'll tell you. It'll be our secret together, so you can stop crying, okay? It'll be okay. Wherever it is I'm going, I'll wait for you there. Ugh. Ah, it's you. Elster, right? Thank you for your help. Did you find who you were looking for yet? Ah, that rifle. I don't think I want to use it again. You can have it. I'm so exhausted. I feel sick. It's hard to breathe. The air in this place feels thick, like you can bite it. It's like there's fog inside my head. I think I need a moment to rest.
Penrose Briefing, Phase 2. Start of decrypted transmission. By our calculations, 1,500 cycles of mission time will have passed when you receive this message. Congratulations, comrade. By now, you should have become fully acclimated to your new life on board your ship. As you approach the Oort cloud, your search for new worlds will begin. Utilizing the long-range sensors, you will scout for valuable resources, habitable worlds, or signs of alien life. Remember to rely on your replica to assist you in maintaining your vessel. We all wish you a great success in your mission. End of decrypted transmission. Cycle 225. When I signed up for this mission, I just wanted to get away from everything. I was sick of Rotfront, of school, of the photo store, sick of the fake smiles and the whispering behind people's backs. When I saw the photo of that soldier, I wondered who she was. Was she happy? Was her family proud of her? Did her comrades love her? Since we looked alike, could I have been like her? But in the end, I just wanted to leave. Nothing I had done or made ever meant anything to anyone, so why bother? Here, I am finally free. I get to be myself and to do what I want. I can finally be happy. Garbage bags. In the end, we didn't have the strength to dispose of them anymore. Cycle 648. Talked some more to the Elster unit. She's different from the replicas I knew back home. Nothing like my teachers or the Blockwart protector. I know she didn't have a choice, but it feels like she's also here because she didn't fit in. It's like we've run away from the world together. At first, I didn't like having someone around, and I was glad that she's quiet and didn't approach me. But lately, I've missed having someone I can talk to. It's been so long since I've seen another person. I never thought I'd miss it. Except her, everything is the same here. Always. Nothing ever changes. Penrose Briefing, Phase 3. Start of decrypted transmission. Congratulations, comrade. You survived 3,000 cycles, reaching the final phase of the Penrose program. With the end of operational lifetime of your replica unit approaching, it is time to prepare for the final phase of your mission. If you have not found a suitable world for landing by this point, accept that you will not. Find solace in the thought that others might be successful where you failed. As you probably are aware, your ship's spare parts and rations will soon be depleted. Life support systems and reactor shielding will soon begin to fail, and radiation may begin to leak from the cooling system. We recommend you do not attempt to prolong your suffering by reusing old filters or rationing supplies. Instead, make peace with your fate. We suggest that you ask your replica, while it is still functional, to spare you a slow and agonizing death, or that you take a permanent rest in the cryogenic pod. Remember, you will die having served your nation by partaking in a glorious demonstration of our power. End of decrypted transmission. Another unfinished painting. There was never enough time. Cycle 1294. I had a strange dream. I was listening to the radio with my mother. Like back then, the numbers were on, and Mother was taking notes with a book on her lap. It was that book I saw in the shop window of the bookstore where the twins lived, the one with the yellow hooded figure on the cover. When I went there to buy it, it was gone, and Erica said that the protectors had confiscated it. Or was it Issa? I can't remember. Cycle 1840. Everything is always the same. I feel like I'm trapped inside this ship. I know every bolt on every panel and every room of it. I've seen everything. I've done everything there is to do in here. I can't concentrate on anything. It's like there's this fog inside my head, and whenever I try to do anything, I just can't focus. I want to go outside. I want to breathe fresh air. I want to feel the wind on my face and in my hair. Cycle 2503. I think I lost more hair. I'm sitting here, getting older. Every time I wake up, I feel older, weaker, sicker. I get out of breath so easily lately. My back hurts when I sit down. How much longer will this go on? It just feels like I'm slowly dying. The reactor's cooling system. It's leaking irradiated coolant everywhere. I tried my best to patch it up, but we eventually ran out of spare parts. I couldn't keep my promise. Despite my best efforts, I eventually fell ill, too. It had to end this way. Cycle. I'm tired of it all. Every time I go to sleep, I wonder if I'll wake up again. I'm scared that it'll be the last time I say goodnight to her. Did I say it right? Will she be okay? What if one of us just won't wake up tomorrow? I don't want to die. I don't want to live either. Everything is just so exhausting. I just want to lie down and disappear. I just want to sleep. Please just let me sleep. Please just make it stop. Please. It's time. This is all that's left. In the end, I had to leave. I wanted to see, but it's too much. Forgive me.
Key of Love, Cycle 888. I've tried to teach Elster how to dance. It's so cute how clumsy she can be when it comes to these things. Cycle 1024. Before I met Elster, I never believed I would find someone that I could fall in love with like that. Key of Eternity. Are you still looking for answers where there are only questions? There's nothing but heartbreak at the end. Key of Sacrifice. On the horizon, I saw a star fall into the sea, and the sound of thunder, like trumpets of angels, flew over the water. A mix of hail, fire, and blood hit my wet face, and a third of all creatures that lived in the sea died. The door won't open yet. An old wooden wardrobe. Ariane used to keep her clothes in here. Textbooks on radio operation. These used to belong to Ariane's mother. Old Imperial cereals. Ariane loved reading these. Black and white pictures of the paintings Ariane used to make. The national flag. It's meaningless. A computer screen is blank. Ariane's old radio transmitter. It's still transmitting. Okay. Three, 9, 4, 8, 6, 6, 0, 1, 7,
0, 2, 4, 3, 2, 6, 0, 1, 0, 6, 4. White lilies. Pick up the flower? Yes.
Alrighty, and that concludes my playthrough of Signalis. Um, Getting all the endings kind of, added, replaying the game kind of shifted certain things into kind of perspective more than anything else. Um, I don't think my initial idea of it being a story about grief necessarily changes with the endings. Um, in one, Elster kills Ariane like their promise. One where she leaves, where she can't do it. And one where Ariane doesn't remember her. Um, and then you have the secret ending, which I am not 100% sure where to take it, other than the fact that it it doesn't require you to fight the final boss, and so that final sequence with Alder doesn't happen. Um, it's just curious. I'm not quite sure what it means or what it's trying to do. It does feel like a mourning at a gravesite type thing. And you kind of have to go out of your way to remember certain things. And I think the reality of the fact is that Ariane is dead already. And Elster herself knows that she is dead in that position. And it kind of comes to like an acknowledgement of like, you have found the keys that kind of, tell you outright that doing this again and again and again doesn't really change anything. And again, just it causes reality to break. Things don't work out. Things fall apart. So, yeah. I'm glad I played through all the endings for this game. I do have to say that playing it super fast really takes any of the tension away from the game. I admittedly also did most of the playthroughs with no audio in the background, or if I did have audio, I was like listening to an audiobook in the background actually. So maybe that helps in getting rid of basically any tension away from the game. But for at least the final sequences, I did turn off the music, and like I do think this game is very, very effective if you play it the way it's intended and don't have something playing in the background, for instance. Um, the tense moments still do remain tense, and all of that. Um, Again, as I started in the beginning of this video, and I'll say again now, I really enjoyed this game. It really, the ending and the story being told does really hit, because it's a tragedy from all angles. Um, and it is partially like the horror of the state and the nation, because of the way this world is built. Ariane went on the Penrose, and the Penrose Project existed in the first place, and it led to her death because it was honestly probably always going to. It would be cool if they found another habitable planet, but that's not the focus. The focus is the fact that we can do this, no problem. So there's kind of like the inherent tragedy of living in an oppressive government, and how everybody suffers, from all the different replicas who are people in their own right, and do give themselves their own names. And while they can have a resurfacing of other memories,
from all the notes and the letters and the reports, like they can all grow up to be slightly different. They start with the same root, but they don't end. Um, but they don't end where that person ended because that person doesn't isn't them. They are their own people, even if they were based upon a different unit. Um, I'm not sure if they even paid attention to if the Elster unit that was decommissioned, if they were even paying attention to what that base neural pattern was, or if it was one of those things that's kind of like fate. This was always going to happen. And I feel like even if it's not with our specific characters, it's kind of like one slight thing messes up somewhere along the line and it messes everything up for everyone. And more specifically, there was always something going to give way, so to speak, to this quote-unquote ideal world that the nation was building. But again, like, it was always going to fall apart. It was always going to fall apart due to its primary design and the fact that people do not follow a primary design, and that there are, how many, like, not everybody gets raised in a radio tower in the middle of nowhere with their mother, like Ariane. But, like, you get different kinds of people. Like, Issa's parents had a bookstore that had prohibited books in them. And, like, clearly Ariane had access to banned material because why would they enforce on a small outpost? Like, part of the port of enforcement is to scare other people into submission of what you can and can't do. But it's interesting. I think it's a very effective story. One, it is a tragic love story. It's a good horror story. The tragedy on all fronts is so clear, and everything ties together in such a way where it's like, of course, in this case, the core cause and the problem of the society that's been built, the active oppression that's been going on, the way people are treated, the way gestalts are treated, the way replicas are treated. Right, like, it leads to automatic tragedy. No one at the Sierpinski site made it out. Everyone died because of this. And this probably could have been avoided. But of course, we don't know what the Empire was like. Maybe the Empire was just as bad. I mean, it probably was, honestly speaking. But it is the systems in play caused the events to occur. And even if they didn't happen in this exact way, they were always going to happen. And that, I think, is like the central tragedy of Signalis, right? It's just, it is all a demonstration of power. They don't actually care. They can always build another unit. They can always get another person. Everything's expendable. And like, that is the belief of the state, obviously. And I think what makes the story so effective, because it's if everyone's disposable, or replaceable, then you don't have to consider them. But they are people, right? Elster units, they should not be allowed to make friends. That's something you don't do, because then you risk kind of awakening the human therein. It was so easy to break the cycle, because all you needed was one person who didn't want to exist in the world as it knew it, as she knew it, and of course she was going to bend it. But that wasn't the point because they're gonna. It doesn't matter what happens to the Elster unit. They're all going to. The chance of them surviving are slim, and they clearly accounted for that. And it seems that even before the 3000th day mark, things were already starting to fall apart. And and that's only if things go as predicted, and not even like if, for instance, you hit a meteor shower or the damaged ship gets damaged because of something. You know? I'm gonna be thinking about Signalis for a long time, probably. Honestly, I think like honestly, what a strong game to kind of start my channel off with. And I'm really glad I played it. I, I think the story was very perfectly put together. Like, it gives you enough information to kind of draw your own conclusions, and like, someone could probably have a different reading for me or focus on a different thing than I am, but it's just like it's about it's about the tragic love story of Elster and Ariane, but it is also the tragic story of everybody here, right? Like, the events have already spiraled such that we can't go back, and like, it's rough, right? It's rough. But yeah. So that's it for this let's play of Signalis. I hope you guys have a great one. If you liked this game, do support Rose Engine. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on whatever future projects they do, if they do anything after this, because the design was immaculate. It was genuinely really, really good. I only hiccuped a couple times, but as a whole, everything felt very smooth. The story was very good. The way the visuals told that story was incredible, as well as like kept within the gameplay confines. Just a good game. Just a good game. And I'm glad I played it. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great one. Bye!